Here are 3 ways to spot a tail on foot. As a former CIA officer, I can tell you that obviously you need to make sure you're not being followed. You need to have good situational awareness. You need to run surveillance detection routes. And plus, we know in the world we live in, there's a million crazy people. You hear those horrible stories all the time about some guy following a woman home from the park, or maybe she's, wherever. She's walking somewhere. So here are 3 ways to spot a tail on foot. I'm going to call it San Diego edition because I was recently in San Diego and I used all 3 ways. So I was in San Diego, as I just said. I was there for business and I like to walk. So where I was going for business was a conference at a very expensive hotel, $1,200 a night. When it comes to hotels, I'm cheap. So when it comes to guns, I have no problem dropping $3,000 on a rifle, $2,500 on a 1911, big deal, but
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
again, hotels I'm cheap about. So I stayed about a mile from the conference center at a hotel, Holiday Inn, let's call it that, because again, I like to walk and Holiday Inn's fine for me, I don't care. But anyway, when I'm walking places, I want to make sure I'm not being followed to my hotel. I want to make sure I'm not being followed anywhere I'm going. So what is the first way that you can spot a tail on foot? It is called the natural stop. Okay, what is the natural stop? Well, as I was walking around the San Diego area on foot, one of the places I had to go past by the beach. And so I was walking right along the beach, and that is a natural stop, a normal place where it doesn't look weird, it doesn't draw any undue attention. So what is the natural stop? Again, I'm walking. I don't want to just turn around and be like, anybody behind me? So and again, if you're overseas and you are an intelligence officer, you can't make it that obvious because then surveillance knows you're an intelligence officer and you're trying to pick them up. But again, natural stop. So I'm walking in San Diego. I come to the beach. I stop and I look up and down the beach, right? That's natural because there's surfers, there's everybody there. So I can look to my right, up and down the beach. I can look at my left, up and down the beach, like I'm just enjoying the beautiful ocean view. But of course, as I'm looking up and down the beach, I can look that way. I can see if anybody is following me and pick up. Maybe there is somebody and it's like, okay, remember there's a guy in a tan jacket or a guy in a bright orange shirt, and maybe he's just going for a walk or maybe he's following me, but I make that mental memory. So again, the very first way to spot a tail is the natural stop. So you can stop anywhere where, again, it looks natural in the flow. It doesn't look like you're being weird or crazy or, again, you're drawing any undue attention to you. All right, after the natural stop is crossing the street. That's how to spot a tail number 2. Very, very similar to the natural stop because when we cross the street, what are we always telling our kids? Make sure you look both ways. Make sure you look both ways. So I come up to the street. I've been walking like this, right? I come up to the street here. I want to cross it to get to the other side of the road. I look to my left, I look to my other left, I look to my right, I look to my left, and again, looking to my left, the direction I just came from, I can see if somebody's following me. I can see if that guy who was wearing the orange ball cap is still there, and maybe that guy's following me for real. So super easy, just cross the street whenever you want. On my jaunt around San Diego to the various places I was going, walking everywhere, I crossed a lot of streets. So I had plenty of time to look right, look left, and see if anybody's following you. So that is numero dos of how to spot a tail. All right, what is number 3 how to spot a tail? It is called the button hook. So if you're familiar with football, if you enjoy football, you know the button hook play. It's very well known. So what is button hook? All right, let's say, well, I'll give you a good example. Let's say you're in a city, New York City, right? And you're gonna go get on the subway. So the entrance to subway is there, and you gotta come down the stairs facing the direction you're coming from, meaning the opposite direction you're currently walking. So if I'm walking down the street in New York, I've got to turn, and then I walk down the stair in the subway going this way. Well, guess what? Of course, when I turn in button hook, I get to face the direction that I was coming from. So very, very easy to do and not obvious because, again, you're turning to enter the subway to walk down the stairs in the subway and you get to look behind you. Now, when I was in San Diego, I was not getting on the subway. I was not near any subway. So what did I do for my button hook? Well, as soon as I passed the street, I walked a bit, I button hooked and I looked up as if I was a lost tourist. So I looked up to see the street sign to make sure I was going the right way. Now, I'm very good at looking like an idiot, looking like a dumb American tourist. Insert all the YouTube jokes here you want about how dumb I look, doesn't matter to me. So I'm walking, I turn, I look up, oh man, shoot, is this the street? Yes, this is the street I just crossed, the place I want to go. And then obviously I'm also glancing at anybody who is following me. Fortunately, my San Diego trip was very uneventful. I did not have anybody following me, but now you know 3 ways to spot a tail, and you should do this. Because again, if you walk around places, you're going back to your hotel room, if you live in a place where you can walk to your house, too many psychos and weirdos follow people back and do home invasions or other horrible things. So remember the natural stop, remember to look both ways when you're crossing the street, and remember the button hook. I am former CIA officer Jason Hanson. If you want more life-saving spy tricks, hacks, and survival information, make sure you subscribe, and God bless you.